Good morning. We are one step away from the liturgical year A. This penultimate Sunday of the liturgical year reminds us how we should prepare for the Lord to come, whether it is at the end of all time or the end of our own personal time. The main theme of today's readings is an invitation to us to the best use of our God-given talents. The first reading is an invitation to us to be as diligent, creative, and faithful. The use of our God-given gifts, like a good wife who does good to her husband, provides for the household, helps the poor and the needy, and fears the Lord. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. This message blends with the gospel in the use of talents to produce something good and profitable. The second reading follows the theme of the gospel. St. Paul reminds us that we do not know when Jesus Christ will come a second time. He will come unexpectedly like a thief in the night, and suddenly like labor pain. Thus, we should keep awake. Only those who live each day to the fullest will be ready when Jesus' special day arrives. Today's gospel is a part of Jesus' eschatological teaching. The focus is on eschatos, which means the end of the world and the end of our lives. The church reminds the faithful to follow. The end time is near. How do we prepare? How do we produce fruits? And how do we await the return of the Lord? The gospel today teaches us on the need to be productive in faith. Every life is meant to be meaningful, not just for the self, but for others. And since human life has an imprint of God's presence, then it must be used to produce fruit for the glory of God and the salvation of souls. Today's parable, the master of the servants gave out his talents to them in 5, 2, and 1. A talent was worth about 15 years' wages for simple day laborer. Even one talent could be worth more than a laborer would earn in a lifetime. This means that even the servant who received the one talent had an enormous lifetime gift. The problem of the one talent servant is not the amount he received, but his laziness, lack of creativity, jealousy, and wickedness. Men are not equal in talent, but men can be equal in effort. It is not a man's talent which matters, but how he uses it. God never demands from a man the ability which he has not got, but he does demand that he should use to the full the abilities which he does possess. Whatever talent we have, little or great, we must lay it at the service of God and our fellow men. The man with the one talent could have adventured with it and lost it. It would have been better than to do nothing at all. The condemnation is for the man who will not try to use it and will not risk it for the common good. To use the God-given talent involves risk, but God encourages us to accept the risk involved and to work for His glory and for the salvation of souls. Often, we take the path of burying our faith and to safeguard it so as not to lose it. But faith is not meant to be safeguarded. It must be invested. It is meant to be extended to others. We need to make use of our talents in our parish. We can fulfill the needs by feeding the hungry, visiting the sick or the elderly, housing the homeless, and welcoming strangers in our midst. We need to trade with our talent of Christian faith. Faith is not just to preserve and keep. We need to work with it. Unless we do this, we stand in danger of losing the faith, just as the third servant lost his talent. As the master entrusted his money to his servants, so God has made some investment in each of us through different amount of His graces and blessings. God has invested in us life, skill, opportunities, education, job, wealth, health, family, positions, faith, other spiritual gifts, as well as countless other blessings and graces. As each servant was expected to account for the amount given to him, so God expects accountability from each of us. This parable of the talents is a very productive one that the Lord has offered us. Yesterday is the past, tomorrow is the future, but today is a gift. That is why it is called the present. Let us make this present a pleasant gift to the great giver by seeking His grace and combining it with our hard work and determination. May those of us who are burying our talents dig them up and begin to invest them. And may those who are already investing theirs remain steadfast, for their reward will be great. Only by wisely investing our talents at the end of our earthly life will we hear these consoling words from God. Well done, my good and faithful servant. Since you were faithful in small things, I will give you great responsibilities. Come, share your master's joy. Amen.